Hi guys, it's Platinum, and the purpose of this video is because I know a lot of you have been asking me what's the deal with me and Mr. Silva, what's going on, between me and Antonio Silva, why are we not talking, why am I blocked, or why is, so get straight to it. I will only give you the facts here. I promise you I will only give you the truth and the facts, right? About 3 or 4 days ago, a video surfaced where a copper grabs a girl there and there. Now it's in Australia. The video is edited. There's no sound, right? And you just get subtitles coming up. And during the video, he's got her there, and the girl goes and spits in his face. He spins around and he has her like that, right? Not that. He has it like that. And he's pushing her head up like that. So he's basically pushing her face away, as if saying, "You're not spitting on me again." And during this, subtitles are coming up with her screaming, "He's effing choking me, he's effing choking me," which anyone who knows anything about science, biology, anything like that, they'll know that is scientifically impossible, right? If you are being choked, you cannot scream, see? You can't scream or even talk, right? If you're being choked, your vocal cords and airways are being closed and strained. They're being cut off. So you can't speak, you can't scream, you can't shout, you can't even breathe, right? So, he obviously clearly wasn't choking her, right? The next clip is him being arrested, and it comes up saying, her crime, not wearing a mask. Now, obviously, her crime wasn't not wearing a mask. Her crime was she spat in his face. Now, I don't know, we don't see what led up to the video. She could have thrown something at him, or she could have been completely minding her own business. We don't know, because the video is edited badly to make the copper look bad. But it fails. Now, I explained that she spat at someone during a global pandemic, right? Coppers arrested her, blah, 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 blah. Me personally, I'd buy the guy a drink, because he's done the right thing. Anyway, Mr. Silva messages me and he said, I'll give him his due. He was polite. He came via my DMs. He didn't start, abusing me on Twitter. He came via my DMs and he says to me, wanted to understand my views. So I explained, as I just have earlier, it is scientifically impossible to choke someone or to scream, "He's effing choking me," if you're being choked. And I explained scientific facts that when you choke someone, you cut off their air supply and strain their vocal cords, and they can't shout. Also, his hand wasn't there choking her. His hand was there on her chin, pushing her head up to stop her from spitting again. Also, I explained that you spit on someone, that is assault. Now, the law in the UK, as far as I'm aware, the law in the US is the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same in Australia. Spitting on someone is assault. Assaulting an officer is an arrestable offence, right? Now, the copper is shown arresting her, and I think he does nothing wrong there. Now, I've pointed out he's done nothing wrong. If I thought for 1 second, looking at that video, he was choking her, then I would be defending her. I'd be straight at the copper going, "Look, you're wrong. You can't do that. That's disgusting." Because I'm very anti-men hitting women, Now, it's not because I think women are weaker or anything like that. It's just I was brought up to believe that no real man assaults a woman. No real man hits a woman. No real man punches a woman, nothing like that. If I'm in the street or I'm out on a night and a woman hits me, I will not hit her back, right? Because the way I've been brought up, I'll sit there and take a beating, I won't hit a woman back. I never have, I never will. That's just my belief, my way, I actually think women technically are the stronger of the two sexes, because women can give birth to children, and I don't think no man will ever take that. I'm sorry, but no man will ever be able to withstand the pain of labour. We wouldn't cope. No man would cope with that. So that's why I think women are the stronger sex. But I'm digressing here. I'm getting away from the facts, right? So I explained that to Mr. Silva, and he basically sent me a DM basically saying that, okay, I approve of men hitting women. He doesn't agree with that. Blah blah blah. He's upset by the fact that I approve of men hitting women, and that he said his piece and he doesn't want to discuss it further now. So don't message him, right? So don't message him about it. So I messaged him back saying, like, look, you don't want to talk about it. That's absolutely fine. You've got your opinion. I've got mine. We're okay with that, but you have done something that's actually upsetting and offensive. You've slandered me there. You've said that I approve of men hitting women, which I already explained to you I don't. The only reason why I said I would buy the copper a pint, or a drink, sorry, I said a drink, I think. The only reason I said that is because he did his job correctly. He didn't escalate it. He didn't assault her. He just arrested her. He restrained her and then arrested her. If he'd assaulted her, I'd have been on his case like everybody else. Like I was with the officer who assaulted George Floyd. If he'd gone over the top or he'd done anything unnecessary, I'd have been on his case. He didn't. He restrained her and he arrested her. He did nothing wrong. I've shown other people this video clip and asked, what does the copper do wrong here? What am I missing? And everyone's just going to me, nothing. He's just arrested her. He hasn't choked her. And that's men and women who've said that. So... But anyway, like I said, that's their opinion, my opinion. His opinion's obviously different. But he said that I approved of men hitting women. I asked him, that's slander. I don't approve of that at all. Then he started doing videos in my DMs saying, I didn't slander you. You said that you'd buy a gang member with a badge a drink. I said, no, I didn't say that at all. I said I'd buy a police officer a drink, right? But that's not the part that's slander. The part that's slander is you said, I approve of men hitting women, which I don't, right? Now, I've got the proof of this in the DMs if anyone wants to see it. But he went on categorically denying that he'd slandered me and kept saying about buying the officer a drink. And now, despite me telling him that's not the part that's slander, the part that's slander is you saying, I approve of men hitting women, which I don't. But he wouldn't have it. And then he kept saying, look, I've said I don't want to talk about it. Right? And I said, well, yeah. And I've said we don't have to talk about the issue. We have different opinions on the issue. That's fine. However, my argument now is not to do with the issue. My argument is you've slandered me. And that's just upsetting and wrong. And he's like, oh, no, I haven't slandered you. And now you're invading my personal boundaries here because I've told you I don't want to discuss it further and you keep discussing it. And I'm like, well, no, we're discussing something separate now. And yes, because you tell me, right, that you've said your piece and I'm not to say anything, right, doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm gonna say my piece. If you message me, I will reply. Anyway, he started saying, oh, now I'm harassing him. He's going to get me done for harassment. I'm like, mate, you're messaging me, right? How can I be harassing you if you're messaging me? You're messaging me basically saying, this is my opinion, you don't get one, shut up. Right? And I'm saying, well, no, I do get an opinion, I'm going to reply. Right? So he didn't like that, and he's still like, oh no, I didn't slander you. And then he started, you're projecting this slander on me because you're childish, you're immature. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, you've slandered me here because you have. Right? Right now, here's what you've done. You've insulted me, and now you're playing the victim. It's, you seem to think you can go around insulting people, but no one can say to you, hey, that's wrong. As soon as someone stands up for themselves and says, hey, you're wrong, you'll be like, oh, you're harassing me, leave me alone. You're harassing me, leave me alone. I said, you're a 50-year-old man, mate. Start acting your age. Grow the fuck up. You're a 50-year-old man, mate. Act your bloody age. But alas, he blocked me. Now, basically, what was annoying about it was because he seems to think that his view seems to be different to mine about the pandemic. That's fine, but you see, my view is that COVID and the pandemic is real, and I'm basing that on the fact that scientists, doctors, experts, specialists, they've all turned around and said, yeah, it's real, it's this is that, and the other. We've had a vaccine for it, we've had measurements taken to stop it spreading, we've had quarantine, we've had everything, right? Now, why it came about and how it came about, I don't know, I don't care. I just want it gone, right? I want it gone. I want people to get better. I want people to be able to go out and see each other again. However, Mr. Silva seems to think that it was all one big massive lie. There never was a pandemic. There never was an illness. There never was a vaccine. We never had to wear masks. We shouldn't have ever had to wear masks, and, the vaccine didn't exist. And his big evidence, right? Bear in mind, I mentioned we had scientists, specialists, doctors, experts, all who said it did exist, all who've practiced, studied, and researched it, said it was lethal. Mr. Silva, his big evidence that it didn't exist and that it's not as bad as they're saying is because he says so. That's Mr. Silva's big evidence, because he says so. It's like me going, well, see, this shirt's red because I say so. Spider-Man's real name wasn't Peter Parker. It was Bruce Banner because I say so. That's the level of maturity we're at with him. Now, he blocked me. That's fine, right? He had a rant. Basically said, I've said my piece. You don't get to say yours. I've said my piece, which means you shut up. I'm like, I went to reply and he cut me off. He blocked me. That's fine, right? Now, I've spoken to other people about it. People have asked me about it. Now, I will say this, right? I've got no ill feelings towards him. He's been through a lot the last year or so. It might have affected his maturity and his ability to socialise with people properly. I understand that, right? He might be going through a difficult time. That's fine. But he definitely, I will say to him, he needs to grow up. But I'll also say this to people. This isn't a choice between me and him. You can be my friend and his friend. I will not fall out with anyone or have a go at anyone that speaks to him. If they're one of my followers, you still want to talk to him, you still talk to him, right? The issue is between me and him, not you and him or you and me, right? I'm just putting this up because so many people are asking me about it. I don't want to keep explaining myself, right? I don't wish any ill on him. I don't want anyone to have a go at him. Don't be having a go at him. He's been through enough as it is. It's obviously affected what he's been through has obviously affected his maturity and his mental state and his ability to socialise and be social with others. So please don't give him any abuse. Don't have a go at him. But please, if he carries on slandering me, then please just obviously explain that that's not the case. That's not true. That's not what David said. And David doesn't feel that way at all. But I will say again, if you're my friend and his friend, that's perfectly fine. I will not tell anyone who they can and can't be friends with or who they can and can't talk to. I'm in no position to do that, and I wouldn't do that. But like I said, that was the whole gist of it. That was the whole story. That's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Anyone wants any screenshots or anything that I've got or any evidence, please let me know and enjoy the rest of your day. And again, just because me and him have fallen out doesn't mean you and him have to, or me and you have to. It's not a choice. It's not a divide. Just understand that that's why. That's why we're no longer speaking. All right? Thanks, guys.